The cruelest part of dementia, they're still here. That is the worst part about this disease process. They are still with us, but they're suffering. So let me ask you this. If you've ever thought, I love my mom, I love my dad, but I don't like being around them anymore, this episode is for you. Let's talk about it. Hey, loves. Welcome to A Touch of Love Talks podcast. I'm Lovey Baxter, family nurse practitioner, master's level social worker, and certified dementia practitioner. I'm so glad you're here. This is a safe space to talk about the challenges of taking care of your aging family member. I'm going to teach you how to protect your peace. Make sure you are informed and supported through this difficult journey. So you made it. You're in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Get comfortable, kick back, and let's dive in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad that you made it to the right place at the right time to get the right information. Listen, no one prepares you for the moment your parent looks at you and doesn't know who you are. What hurts more is if they do know you, but they treat you like a stranger, right? Dementia steals memories, it steals kindness, it steals filters, their reasoning, and it just basically steals the parent that you had. They're not the same anymore. So let's talk about what dementia is. They're saying they can't hear me. Let's talk about what dementia is. It's not just one single disease, okay? Dementia is like the umbrella. So if you pop open an umbrella, it's got all those little metal parts on the inside, right? That's what dementia is. Dementia is the umbrella, and all the little pointing parts or the metal parts, those are the types of dementia. There's not just one single disease. It has over 100 conditions that could actually lead and cause dementia. It affects the memory, it affects the behavior, it affects their personality, the way they think. So the most common form of dementia is Alzheimer's. Everybody hears Alzheimer's, right? That's the one thing that everybody hears and everybody uses, dementia, Alzheimer's. So which one is it, right? Unfortunately, we use those terms interchangeably. But let's talk a little bit about Alzheimer's, because the letters that I want to go over today, they are classic textbook, like we call it in the medical field, symptoms of two types of dementia. First one is Alzheimer's. There's a little bitty portion in your brain called your hippocampus, right? I don't know why it's called a hippo, because when I think of hippo, I think of hippopotamus, and the hippopotamus is huge, right? But this hippocampus is little bitty portion in your brain. It affects your short-term memory, okay? So when a person has Alzheimer's, the Alzheimer's affects that hippocampus. It just kind of eats away at it like a little Pac-Man. And the person then suffers with short-term memory. So these are your patients that, or your family members that can remember what they did back in 1962, but they can't tell you what they ate for breakfast, right? They're the ones that ask the simple questions over and over again. Where are we going today? Now, is it time to eat? These are my Alzheimer's patients. Okay, so then you move on to the next portion of the umbrella, vascular dementia. These are the people in your family that you kind of, do they have dementia? They kind of ask, the same things over and over, but that could just be old age. So it's like a slow decline that you're noticing over time, okay? These are the ones that are going to have the mood changes. You see irritability with them, it's going to be 10 out of 10 on top of 10. They're mean, they're irritable, just mad at the world. Those are unfortunately my vascular dementia patients, right? So why are they so mean? That simply put is just brain failure. That portion of the brain is just failing them. Okay, so then you go on and you're like, well, why do they say stuff that's not true? That's another key indicator of vascular dementia. Those patients are, well, somebody stole my stuff out of my room. They hit me. I'm not going over there. Or they simply ask, who are you? So let me get to letter number one. Now that we've kind of talked about the main two dementias. Letter number one is someone who wrote in. It really touched my heart. That's why I selected it to go over today. I think I'm just going to do two letters every day or every time I do my podcast because I want to make sure that we are really tapping in and really providing you some resources, number one. And number two, just a safe space to let you know you're not alone. So, letter number one, Dear Lovey. I'm still thinking about Dear Abby, if you remember that from back in the day. Okay, so let me focus. Dear Lovey, I don't understand what happened to my mom. I'm doing everything for her, bathing her, feeding her, taking her to her appointments, and she is so mean to me. She says hurtful things. She accuses me of stealing. Sometimes she even gets violent. I'm exhausted. I'm at my breaking point. I'm starting to think about placing her, but I want to put her somewhere that's safe. But the guilt is eating me alive. What kind of daughter feels this way? Mm. Signed, worn out and heartbroken. Wow, that hurts my heart to read. I hear your level of frustration in your letter, and I wish that I could come and give you a hug, to be honest with you right now. But let me just start here. Nothing's wrong with you. You're not a bad daughter. You're just exhausted, okay? So loving someone doesn't make you immune to burnout. You can love your mom, you can love your dad, but you're just burnt out. You're tired. Like you said, you're exhausted. That is all normal and it's okay. That is normal behavior. This is the disease. It's not your mom. I need you to understand that, okay? It's all the disease process. It's not your mom. And unfortunately, you get the worst behavior. Why? Because you're the safest. You're the safest place. You're familiar. You're safe. She knows you. So she feels comfortable. So she's letting that vascular dementia just come all out. So let's talk about your options. Placement is truly an option for you. I don't like to see family members get to this point. Why? Because you're not family anymore. You are a caregiver and you lose the title of daughter or niece or son or whatever your role is. You lose that because you're a caregiver. And that role of being son, daughter, niece, whatever, nephew, that's important, right? Caregiver can be given to somebody else. And in this situation, placement is not abandonment. And I know that's what you're thinking. You're thinking, if I put her somewhere, then I'm giving up on her. If I put her somewhere, then she's not going to think I love her. If I put her somewhere, are they going to treat her right? Now, that is a real feeling. All of them are valid feelings. But you are the level of exhaustion that I can hear in your email to me is concerning for your health. It's concerning for you and just your overall peace. So you have to, at the end of the day, you got to take care of you because unfortunately, when mom and dad are gone, you're still going to be here. And you don't want to tear up your your level of frustration building up to the roof. And now you have high blood pressure. And now you got, other health issues because you were trying to be superwoman for your mom. That's not what your mom wants. So placement is a valid option. And you are acknowledging in your letter that you can't do it all, right? And I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to replace a whole team of trained caregivers because that's what you're going to get if you place her. You're going to get a whole team of people that can meet her needs, not just one, right? So another option is bringing somebody in-home help, part-time caregivers. You can just do caregivers overnight. You can do some type of day program where you take her and drop her off somewhere. I know a great one that I work closely with. They do amazing work. You go, you take your loved one there, you have your day, you come, you pick them back up, and you're the caregiver at night. I can't tell in your letter if home health or hospice would be an option just to kind of get other people involved in her care. Family, you didn't say anything about that. Do you have family available, but you're just doing it all because you don't want to bother them? You don't want to, ask them for help. Friends, community, church, family, just other people in the community, maybe somebody who went through this previously, who's just a volunteer that can come in and give you some help. And then, of course, there's always respite care. And that's where you can place your mom just for a weekend or, just for a short amount of time to give you, again, some relief, give you time to wrap your head around your own health, your own mental health, right? So those are some options for you. I want you to really consider those. I'd be happy to talk to you more about any of them or just your situation. I appreciate you um, writing into me. I really do. I'm so glad that you trust me with your most inner feelings and just your whole situation. I definitely will be praying for you that you can make the right decision and you can be at peace with it. Let's move on to letter number 2. Letter number 2. I entitled this one in my show notes, Repetitive Questions, right? So it says, Dear Lovey, my mom has dementia, but she's sweet. Just very, very forgetful. She asks the same questions over and over and over again all day long. Lovey, it's wearing me out. Sometimes it's every 5 minutes. The same question. Every 5 minutes. He put it in this letter repeatedly. The hardest part is she keeps asking where my dad is, but he died years ago. Wow, that's hard. Telling her it breaks my heart, but not telling her feels like I'm lying. And honestly, it's driving me crazy. I love her, but I'm getting frustrated and I hate feeling this way. What do I do? A son who loves his mom, but is exhausted. Wow. This is classic Alzheimer's. The repetitive questions is hard. I have several patients right now that I'm taking care of, and they are classic textbook Alzheimer's patients. And it is, it's all day long. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Where are we going? Where's so and so? Where's so and so? It's just the same question. They're not trying to annoy you. They're not trying to annoy me. They're not trying to annoy my staff, my caregivers that work with me. Remember, it's the brain, part of that brain that just cannot store current information. So, what I want to tell you is loving someone does not mean that it's going to cancel out being frustrated. It's not, because both of them can exist at the same time. So why is this happening? The short-term memory, it just resets, right? As soon as they ask the question, they'll turn around, bam, reset. Ask another question or that same question. Okay, okay. Turn around, bam, reset. Oh, where are we going today? Is it time to eat? No, it's not time to eat. Oh, okay. Hey, where are we going today? Is it time to eat? It's just because it just keeps resetting, okay? New information cannot be retained. It just can't. And if they get anxious, oh my goodness, if they get anxious, it just drives that repetition. It just drives it. So they're seeking reassurance. So that's why they keep coming to you. Sometimes they'll get into your like personal space, because they just don't know. They want to be reassured. They want to make sure everything is okay and things are going to happen. So I don't know if you listened to I don't know what episode it was, but a few episodes ago when I said you have to be consistent with your dementia patients, right? Do the same thing over and over and over. Their daily schedule should pretty much look the same because that provides reassurance. That provides a level of comfort that they need. You have to give them, right? So you want to reassure them and you don't want to replay drama or trauma. I'm sorry. So when you talked about you don't want to talk about your dad because it kind of makes you sad, number one, so it's uncomfortable for you, but you don't have to because they're not going to remember it anyway. So stop talking about it, right? So the moment they say, "Where's dad?" He's fine. Leave it at that. Or he's okay. You don't have to keep saying, well, he died 3 months ago, Mom. Remember, we went to the funeral. You wore the blue dress because blue was his favorite color. No, don't do that. That's hurting you. And that's not helping them at all because why? Short-term memory has been affected. That little hippocampus creates a big problem. And that big problem is it tears up the short-term memory. Okay? So just keep it simple. Meet them where their brain is. Okay? You also want to redirect them quickly. Change the topic. Just change the topic. Where is dad? Oh, Mom, did you say you wanted to eat today? You ready? Food is ready. They can't remember what they asked you. Change the topic. And you don't have to be mean about it, right? I'm never promoting that. But you have to do what's in their best interest and also what's in your best interest. And if it's painful for you to relive that moment, don't do it. Plain simple. Okay? Um, give them activity to do. She comes to you, where's dad or where whatever, Bob. Just Mom, let's play a game. Come on, let's go. Let's turn on some music. Let's dance. Let's sing. Change it just like that. You got a pet? Bring the dog. Hey, Fluffy, Fido, whatever the dog's name would be, right? Just change the topic. That way you're not being mean, you're not getting frustrated, and it solves that problem. Because again, they're gonna come back in a little bit anyway, probably, and ask that same question. So why entertain it every single time? You have to learn how to change, right? Because they can't change. So another thing that you can do is give them comfort tools like blankets or pictures, toys, books. I chose one of my family members because her mom, it was so sad. Oh my goodness, it was so sad. Her mom, excuse me, would actually cry when she asked about it. And I mean, several times, I don't even know how she was able to turn her emotions on that quickly, but she would come and say, "Where's James?" And her daughter would, "Mom, he died." Oh, she started crying. She started crying. "Where's James?" "Mom, he died." Oh. So we tried changing the subject. So she come back. "Where's James?" "Mom, let's go over here and play a game." Okay, go to the game. "Where's James?" Kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it. And so I asked her daughter, "Do you have a picture of him?" because I noticed that when her mom would ask, she would always do this. Like she was looking for that reassurance that we're talking about, right? So I asked her daughter, you have a picture of him in a picture frame, or you got a shirt of his or a blanket that this give me something that was special to either him that your mom, can tap into, or that reminds her of him, right? Because long-term memory, that's good. It's the short term that's the problem. So her daughter brought me a picture of James, the husband, her dad. And so the questions just went away because if she put the picture frame down, she would ask, where's James? Where's James? But then if we gave it to her, it was, where's James? You got him right here. Oh, and she'd go on to something else. James, And so it worked. I'm not saying that'll work for everybody, but for her, it worked. And so that's why I love what I do, because in a smaller setting like a residential care home where I can tap into what's going on with each one of my patients and take the time to really invest in them and know what's going on with them, how they think and how they process things, then I can move and say, okay, this is going to work for this type of Alzheimer's. This is going to work for vascular dementia with this patient. Because although vascular dementia or Alzheimer's, they present certain ways and they have certain symptoms, it doesn't always mean my little tricks that I pull out will work. My little tricks that I pull out work because I know this individual person, right? So you take the person and what their characteristics are, and you match it up with what they're doing and what type of dementia they have, and you develop tricks. So that is something that you can think about when you're trying to figure out what will work with those repetitive questions, because that is hard. Another thing that you can try is having visual supports. Like I said, I got the picture frame for that sweet lady, and she had her James with her all the time. Um, If you have a whiteboard or something, you can write notes to them if they can still, read and comprehend certain things. So, another patient that I have all the time, where we at? What's going on? What that are, several questions. So I put a whiteboard in his room. Where are you? At Lovey's Care Home. You are safe. Bam. What time do we eat breakfast? Breakfast is at 8 a.m. That was his thing. He didn't care about lunch and dinner. Breakfast was his favorite meal. So that was always what he wanted. I don't care if it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Is it time for breakfast? He meant maybe lunch or dinner, but it was always breakfast. But we found out that if he read, it's time for breakfast at 8 a.m., he was calm and cool. If he knew where he was, calm and cool. He was also concerned about his dog. Tito, which I thought was such a cute name. Tito is with John, which was his son. We wrote it on the whiteboard. His questions, repetitively, gone. I kid you not. I kid you not. I'm not saying I have all the secrets and all the tricks, but baby, when you take the time to get to know your patients or get to know your loved one, there are things that will work. And that's why it's so important to have somebody caring for your loved one, if you can't do it for yourself, that takes the time to get to know them. Because I don't care what's on paper. Disease processes are easy on paper. I can pass a test all day long. But when I got out of school, that's when it got hard, because disease processes don't present the same. But that's what I love about medicine. Oh my God, I could talk about it all day long. I know I told y'all this podcast was not going to be medical, but I had to break down those just a little bit so we can really get to understand how to help people, right? Because you got to have, as a caregiver, you got to have survival tools. Just plain and simple. You got to survive out here in these caregiving streets. It's no way to put it, right? Another important thing in that affects both of these letters As y'all wrote me, I could feel your energy. I'm real good about feeling people's energy. Oh my goodness. Don't come up to me with some nasty energy because I will distance myself. I don't know why I felt the need to throw that out there, but I did. But anyway, so a caregiver, I feel you all's energy through these letters. And you all have got to understand that you have to take a break. Okay. Being a caregiver around the clock, you're not going to get a trophy for it at the end of the day. At the funeral, they're not going to stand up and say, and, before we put mom or dad in the grave, we'd like to give this special award to Tammy because she almost died taking care of mom. When they do that at? They don't. So learn to take care of yourself because number one, mom and dad would want that. Right? You don't have to be Scooby Doo to figure that out. But sometimes as a caregiver, you lose yourself so much trying to be everything. And women tend to be the worst at it because we're nurturers by creation, right? God made us that way, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we have to protect that. You can be over nurturing when it comes to caring for mom or dad because nobody can do it better, to be honest with you, right? So you want to do it right and you want to honor them. But honoring them is taking care of yourself so that you can be around to take care of them. That's the easiest way to look at it. So learn to take breaks, find you a trusted team. And sometimes, I'm going to drop a bomb, sometimes it's not family. I'm sorry. It's not. It's just not. Unfortunately. It should be, but we live in a different time and age. So learn and find your team, your tribe, okay? So you can take breaks being a caregiver. You can get respite. You can just have people that help because that is so important. If your loved one has dementia, I just want you to know you're not alone. That's why I wanted to read these two letters because I feel like you all felt you're failing and you're not. You're not. You're not alone. The hard part of it is, let me put it this way. The hard part about it is that you are grieving your mom, your dad. You're grieving them right now. They haven't died, but the grieving process has already started because who you're taking care of right now is not your mom. They're not the same. So that's hard to see day in and day out because you know who they were, but they're not the same anymore. And so that grief is real. And when you're dealing with it day in and day out, it becomes the hardest thing to do. And so you got to step away from that. You have to understand you're not just losing your parent, you're losing like your history, you're losing your comfort, your safe place. Now you're their safe place, but where's your safe place? Where's your safe place? It was the mom who it was back in 1945, right? 1920, wherever. That was your safe space. And you're losing that right now because dementia has eaten away with that. So let me tell you this, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I promise you. But you have got to do the work. And sometimes doing the work means doing what's hard. I said it. I told y'all, don't come in here thinking that you're going to get sugar coated, watered down information because that's not who I am as a person. And it's definitely not who I am as a clinician. I had these hard conversations with my family members day in and day out. I talked to 3 new families today. Um, and it was emotionally draining because they are just at their wits' end with caring for their loved one. You know, um, all 3 are going to be moving into one of my homes, but it's just concerning when caregivers wait. And when I mean caregivers, I mean family, daughters, sons, nieces, nephews. You all are waiting so long to get help. And I'm here to tell you help is out here, but you got to want it. I know that there's a lot of self-gratification in being the one doing it. I get that. I acknowledge that. But at what cost? Like I said, at the funeral, at the graveside service, at the memorial service, whatever tag you put on it that you are going to do when mom or dad pass on, nobody's going to be there to give you a plaque or a trophy or a banner or a ribbon or whatever. Um, because you fought through. You will get some thank yous and we appreciate you. But at what cost if now you're at the doctor every week because you're having heart problems or your anxiety is through the roof or you can't grieve the death of mom and dad correctly because you're so, out of whack from being out of whack being a caregiver. You got to balance this stuff out. Nobody's perfect. Nobody can do it all the time. So don't put that expectation on yourself. There's help out here. I want you to get help. I want you to know you're not alone. I am so appreciative. Y'all have been, let me tell you, really, put this letter down and just stop and say, thank you to my community. You all are showing up in the views, in the subscriptions, in the email. Y'all are in this email and my DM and even in my text messages. Y'all are showing up. So you know what that tells me? That y'all want the information and that you're listening to the information and most importantly, you're applying it. So I am so excited. I'm so excited that you all are receiving this information with love. You're receiving what I'm saying because you're asking more questions. You're digging in, right? One letter that I wrote that that I'm probably going to be covering in the next episode. It said, Lovey, I'm trying to get in the right place at the right time to get the right information. That's my tagline, and I love it. Y'all are eating it up. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. All I want to do is give people the information that I'm out here at churches giving consistently, that I'm out here to community centers consistently giving, senior centers. I love doing that, but there's just so many more people that I can reach. And this is my platform that I can do that. So, thank you all for listening and tuning in. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. We're killing it. I just got an email that we are number 69 on the family and caregiver podcast rating. What? How did that happen? It's like blowing my mind, baby. We are headed up the charts. So I'm so excited. This is podcast number 5 that I am recording right now. 5 podcasts in, and we are already at number 69. That's just when I say it out loud. I had to say it again because that's blowing my mind. I'm so appreciative. I couldn't do it without you all's support. If there is something that you all want me to cover, a disease process you want me to break down a little bit, I'm not going to get too medical because I could do it on and on because that's what I love. But I think that educating you on symptoms or educating you on why something happens or just how to connect the pieces, I think it's so important because once you understand it, then you can treat it better or you can understand the symptoms better. Or what I hope, you can just have a little bit more compassion for our senior citizens. They're not asking to have these disease processes, I promise you. And they're not comfortable living through them. But it's the way we treat them and the way we take care of them can make them have a very peaceful end of their life, no matter how long that is. And that's the number one goal. So, our sponsor today A Touch of Love Care Home, which is my residential care home. Let me drop some great news with that. If you haven't heard, I don't know how you have it, but if you haven't heard, we just closed on new properties and I am so excited about that. So we are expanding. I mean, it's like being pregnant with so much possibility. We are expanding. We will be able to have more people under one roof to take care of. And I am so excited. I am so dusky right now. I'm over there with the contractors, making sure that they're doing stuff right in one location, that I'm at another location, making sure that they are putting lights where I want them, because y'all know I'm extra, baby. It is going to be beautiful. I'm so excited about it, and I want to bring you along on my journey. So tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody else that A Touch of Love Care Home is in the community. It's expanding. It is the number one sponsor for this podcast, and I'm so grateful for it. I have some more sponsors coming up, but I thought that it was more important for me to just keep it in house initially, because you got to build the foundation. You got to build the foundation on anything, especially anything that I'm doing. It's gonna be straight, right? Because if y'all know, I don't play when it comes to my senior citizens. Y'all are getting a kick out of that. Uh, uh, what did I do? A talk at a community center, and they put that clip out there. It was saying that, hey, I don't play when it comes to my senior citizens. So if you haven't seen it, it's going around social media, but it's true. I don't. I want them to live out their last days in peace and in comfort, because not only um, it's something that we should do, but it's providing the care that your loved one and my loved one and every loved one deserves. Thank you for joining me today. I am so appreciative of you all. Number 69, we're going on up. Watch, we're going to be number one, because that's what we do. Bye. All right, loves, that's it for now. If this conversation helped you in any way, then go ahead and subscribe so you can stay connected. And don't forget to hit that bell so you can be in the right place at the right time to get the right information. Hey, until next time, protect your peace and advocate for the one you love.